I was just talking to another guest near IL who
Yes, I
lives in.
know.
We were talking about how he was raising his daughter. I think she's 14ish, and how they homeschool. And we were getting into this whole, I guess, line of thought that we aren't giving, as you were just explaining, kids the space to become themselves. And I grew up, I love my parents. They're very supportive, but I was held to such high expectations, both by them and my grandparents. And I didn't feel like I could go to them with any weakness or any
Right.
screw up because of how much I felt I would get judged. And then on top of that, I was sent to parochial schools. So I'm in this very Catholic environment, being raised by a very Catholic family, and even more Catholic set of grandparents. I had one grandmother who went to church every single day, and I'm conditioned that you're constantly sinning and you're going to go to the
Yeah.
other place and you can't make mistakes. For
Right.
me, I then, instead of going down this path where I was going to go to a civilian college, I ended up going to the Naval Academy. So I brought even more conditioning on me. So I tell people that it wasn't like until I was 30 when I got out of the military when I stopped being conditioned to be someone else. But I think so many of us grow up wearing these masks. And when you have this mask that you're pretending to be someone you're not, it is horrible because you're not letting the true you come out in any way. And is that how you ever felt?
Well, I was to give you some context, I was born and raised, Catholic as well, and went to a Catholic school for a little bit, and my dad wanted to be a Catholic priest, and then he met my mom, and I even at one point wanted to
You
become a priest
totally
as well.
get it. You
Oh, yeah.
get it.
Oh, yeah. I visited, like, the seminary. I was there bunking with the priests. Like, it was deep. It was deep. My parents are still Catholic. I don't, particularly identify with any particular religion, but I deeply honor and respect every single one of them and learn a universe of information through each and every single one of them. So I absolutely love them and think that they're all trying to help people, right? They're all just different roads to the same destination. Long story short, yes, like I I definitely know that. It was definitely I was raised in more of a fear-based environment because of that. Catholicism is a little bit more fear-based than other Christian faiths. Yeah, like you can't sin, and if you do sin, you have to go confess. And then even if you do confess, you're still a sinner anyway. You still have to earn your worth and prove yourself that you can get to heaven doing these certain things. And kind of like no matter how much you do, it's you still have to do more. So that's a lot for a child, right? To have to grow up in, and it's like then you start to internalize, like, no matter what I do, I'm not enough. That's how the child learns it because the parents learn that. Because the parents are still going through that same thing of, I still have to do way more than what I'm doing now to earn my place in heaven or in society or wherever it is. As soon as the parents don't feel enough worth, they're going to make their kids feel like that too, to make them work for approval, for praise, for love. And that's how the parents believe the child can grow up to become quote unquote successful. But is success worth it if the person is not happy, not at peace? And those are more important questions to ask rather than can I be successful or not? Because then you have to really redefine what success means for you. And that's the point in which you can start to
Yeah.
turn the tables and carve and pave a different path for yourself. But yeah, like a lot of parents, it's really difficult. But parents can start to not try to live their dreams through their child. I think that that'll probably help a lot in allowing the child to become who they want to be rather than what you want them to be. Even if you think it's the best for them, right? Ultimately, we don't know what's best for ourselves or we don't know what's best for other people, but we do have an idea of what would create a more joyful and abundant life for ourselves. But to try to impose that on someone else would be taking away their own autonomy, including if that's our own kids. But that's something that I would want to do. And if they, if my kids grow up and they're like, I want to do something completely different than what you want me to do, then I've done my job as a parent, right? I taught them to question things, to think for themselves, to trailblaze. And if that's something completely different from me, then that's perfect. And that's for me to work through on my own, but not for my kids to have to work through.
I remember my son, he's now 26, but at the time he was 3 or 4. And I remember I just was parenting just like I had been parented, which is obviously common. And I remember I just made this decision that he's going to be totally screwed up like I was if I don't switch the pattern now. And it was really tough. But I learned that I had to let go. And so, luckily, with both the kids, I just realized that it's much better if they screw up royally when they're young than if they don't do it than doing it when they get older, when the consequences become much more severe. And I think it's allowed them to be able to come to us and talk about things, my son more than my daughter. But I'm glad I made that pivot because I feel like they have the space that they feel that they can come to us and have real conversations.
And that's what you want as a parent, right? To just be closer to your kids. But the more that we try to control them, the less that they want to open up. So it's a very interesting paradox. But it is that is exactly how it is. The more you let go, the closer that they'll feel to you and you to them. And that's because you're allowing them to be who they are. And that's beautiful. And you've already created that change in one generation. So, now they have a great example for when they have kids.